Imagine this, a tense Oval Office, two world leaders locked in a fiery exchange, and the fate of Ukraine's war effort hanging in the balance. What started as a hopeful meeting between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and US President Donald Trump ended in a dramatic, 10-minute meltdown that could reshape the future of Ukraine, US foreign policy, and global security. What went wrong? And what does this mean for the war in Ukraine and beyond? Let's break it down. Yesterday, the world watched as a highly anticipated meeting between Zelensky and Trump devolved into a public shouting match, leaving a critical minerals deal unsigned and diplomatic relations in tatters. This video will dissect the key moments of this explosive encounter, analyze the underlying tensions, and explore the potential fallout for Ukraine, the US, and the global order. Expect a detailed, blow-by-blow account of the meeting, insights into the political dynamics at play, and a look at what this means for the future of international diplomacy. Zelensky arrived at the White House with a clear mission to secure continued U.S. support for Ukraine's war effort and finalize a minerals deal that would give the U.S. a strategic stake in Ukraine's future. Trump, now back in the Oval Office, has long been skeptical of U.S. involvement in Ukraine, often suggesting that he could end the war in 24 hours through negotiation. Imagine Zelensky walking into the Oval Office, knowing that Trump's support could make or break Ukraine's fight against Russia. The U.S. has provided over $350 billion in aid to Ukraine since the war began, and a shift in U.S. policy under Trump's presidency could jeopardize this lifeline. The stage was set for a high-stakes negotiation, but what unfolded was anything but diplomatic. The meeting began cordially with half an hour of formalities and polite discussion. However, tensions began to boil over when Vice President J.D. Vance suggested that Ukraine should pursue diplomacy with Russia. Zelensky pushed back, referencing Russia's past aggression and failed ceasefires, and the exchange quickly grew heated. Zelensky, what kind of diplomacy, J.D., are you talking about? What do you mean? Vance, the kind that will end the destruction of your country, accusing Zelensky of being disrespectful and litigating the situation in front of the media. The tension escalated further when Zelensky remarked that the U.S. has a nice ocean and doesn't feel the war's impact. Yet, Trump, don't tell us what we're going to feel. You're in no position to dictate that. The underlying tension here was Trump's approach to the war, which critics say underestimates the moral and strategic risks of appeasing Russia. The situation worsened when Zelensky thanked the U.S. for its support but noted that Ukraine had been alone in the war. Trump, you haven't been alone. We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion, a reference to Joe Biden. Vance piled on, accusing Zelensky of campaigning for Democrats during the 2024 U.S. election, referencing a visit to a munitions factory in Biden's hometown. As tensions peaked, Trump and Vance reprimanded Zelensky for his attitude, with Vance demanding, "Just say thank you." Zelensky, please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, Trump, he's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble. The meeting ended with Zelensky being told to leave early, the minerals deal unsigned, and Trump posting on social media, "Come back when you're ready for peace." The fallout from this meeting is already being felt. For Ukraine, Zelensky's defiance may win him admiration at home, but it risks alienating a critical ally. With Trump in the White House, Ukraine could face a dramatic reduction in U.S. support, which has been a lifeline in its fight against Russia. For the U.S., the meeting has reignited debates about America's role in global conflicts. Trump's supporters praise his tough stance, arguing that the U.S. should not be the world's policeman, while critics warn of the dangers of isolationism and the moral hazard of abandoning an ally under siege. For global security, a weakened U.S.-Ukraine alliance could embolden Russia and destabilize Europe, with ripple effects across the globe. Imagine a world where U.S. aid to Ukraine is cut off. How would this impact the balance of power in Europe? Could it lead to a broader conflict, drawing in NATO and other global powers? The collapse of this meeting is just the beginning. Zelensky may need to diversify his support base, turning to other NATO allies or even non-Western powers to fill the potential void left by the U.S. This could lead to a realignment of global alliances, with countries like Germany, France, and even China playing a larger role in Ukraine's future. Meanwhile, the outcome of this diplomatic breakdown could influence everything from NATO's cohesion to the stability of Eastern Europe. If Trump follows through on his threat to reduce aid to Ukraine, it could signal a broader shift in U.S. foreign policy, with implications for conflicts and alliances around the world. The 10-minute collapse of the Trump-Zelensky meeting was more than just a diplomatic failure. It was a microcosm of the larger forces shaping our world in 2025. As Ukraine fights for its survival and the U.S. grapples with its role on the global stage, the decisions made in rooms like this one will have far-reaching consequences. What do you think about the meeting? Should the U.S. continue its support for Ukraine, or is it time to step back? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.